Now, if you think the first step in setting up an interview is to start assembling the lights, you're wrong. If you remember, the title of this DVD is actually how to set up, light, and shoot great-looking interviews, and lighting is only one step in the process, and it's not even the first one. The first thing you need to do is to choose the location for the interview. This can be the most important step in the whole process because your decision here will influence everything else that comes after it. I believe that the best interviews are created by choosing the background first and then inserting the subject into the shot. Choosing the right location will affect what is seen in the background, what lighting instruments you'll need, the depth of the composition, the quality of the sound you're going to record, and even the likelihood that you're going to be bothered by interruptions and other distractions during the interview. If you're lucky, you'll get a room that will have several different options that could be used for setting up a good-looking shot. But more often than not, you'll be offered a room that has no charm, no character, and nothing at all going for it other than the fact that it is available. Don't settle for a bad room unless there's absolutely no other choice. Whether you are in someone's home or an office building, take a walk around to look at any other options. An extra minute or two spent finding the best location can really pay off in the long run and actually shorten the overall time it will take to set up a nice shot. So what should you be looking for? What makes one location better than another? Well, that's hard to pin down because there's no hard and fast rules to go by. But in 25 years of shooting interviews, I've learned a few things that you should keep in mind. Most people's offices are too small or too cluttered to make a good interview location, so always ask if there are any other rooms available, such as a conference room. A large room is better than a small room. As you'll see demonstrated later, having plenty of space between the camera and the subject, and then more space from the subject to the background is very important. If there are windows, consider how the ambient light might change over the course of the interview. For example, the room might seem nice and dark now, but what will it be like in a couple of hours? A darker room is better than a lighter room because controlling the look of the lighting is harder in a room that is already brightly lit. If there are windows, make sure they've got blinds or curtains that can be shut, or at least be prepared to use the natural light as part of the look you're going to get. Check to be sure that the overhead lights can be turned off. In some offices, that can't be done easily, and it's better to know about it before you start setting up. Is there furniture that could be used in the background? Look for desks, credenzas, tables, curio cabinets, lamps, and even chairs and couches. Don't hesitate to rearrange furniture if that's what it takes to set up a nice shot. You might have to move a chair to the middle of the room or pull a sofa away from the wall. Just make sure to put the room back the way you found it. When you're done, the room should look exactly like it did before you got there. It's good practice to leave no trace. If there's a big conference table in the room, can it be moved out of the way? Or can you just leave it where it is and shoot right over the top of it so it's not even seen? Look for any nice architectural features that could be used to your advantage. Columns, fireplace mantels, built-in bookcases, textured walls, window frames, door frames, blinds, and especially corners of the room are all preferable to shooting towards a plain, flat wall. Are there any props, equipment, or anything else that could be appropriate to put in the background? Even small potted plants or flower arrangements can work if you've got the depth to put them out of focus. However, avoid using the large, bushy ferns and ficus trees that you find in so many offices. Consider including people or other activity in the background that is relevant to the subject. For example, if you're in a library, you might want to include people studying in the background. Or how about interviewing a doctor in a hallway instead of a tiny exam room? Or positioning a high school athletic director with sports activity behind her. The key is to make sure the background is relevant and not too distracting. How quiet is the room? As cameramen, sometimes we get so caught up thinking about the visuals that we forget about sound until it's too late. Stop and listen to the room. Does it sound empty and hollow? Is there an elevator, customer lobby, or a copy machine outside the door that will cause interruptions? Can the heating or air conditioning be turned off if it's too noisy? And finally, you shouldn't rely on other people to choose the location for you. And don't let anyone rush you into making a decision. This is an important part of your job and you want to do it right. Sometimes you'll have several good options to choose from, and other times you'll have nothing to work with at all, so just make the best of it.